Over the next 12 months, we're going to face many challenges, but undoubtedly the biggest challenge we face, like other motor retailers, is coping with the huge hike in new car targets that we've had from our brand partners. It's already having an effect on our margins and driving up our operating costs. But my fear is that if it isn't dealt with by both the retailer and the manufacturer together, there could be a horrific effect on used car values, which in turn would affect our ability to do renewal business, which is both important for us, the retailer, and the manufacturer.
Well, the one thing that we're really going to focus on in the next 12 months to try and deliver profits this year is really around digital marketing. We've brought that team in-house, and that's given us a much greater intense focus on doing what's right for us, making the spend efficient and making it work hard for us. It will benefit the company by directing that spend into search terms that directly relate to Lookers and the brands that we represent and the areas of the business that we want to drive footfall and traffic. The purpose of this is to try and make the Lookers brand more evident wherever customers are all over the internet. It's to try and harness the size and scale and the breadth of franchises that the group has.
So the thing that we're going to really concentrate on at Thurlow over this next 12 months is more a defensive strategy than one looking at exploiting an opportunity. The thing for us, I think, is making sure that we control our inventory very well. The reason for that is that we see a real risk with delivery mileage cars. There's a lot of pre-reg activity around, and I'm very, very, very nervous that the residual values of these cars and the realisable value of cars at point of sale will not be what the balance sheet reflects. The issue for us is making sure that we're not overstocked with too many second-hand cars. It's going to be really tight control on inventory. We're going to be very, very clear on the disposal strategy. So we're going to be very, very tight in making sure and very, very focused on making sure that our disposal strategy is well developed and well thought out throughout the rest of the business. We are going to be all over our business units to making sure that they're turning the stock as quickly as they can. To me, it's not an issue about profitability in the short to medium term. It's all about how quickly they're moving the stock.
I think in the next 12 months, I think one of the biggest challenges that we face is probably dealing with some of these new car targets. There we mentioned the word targets. We know that the manufacturers have a job to do, but we need to be really careful that we don't sort of over-exploit this market, because I'm really concerned if we do, it could have a damage on used car sales, residual values. The severity of the pressure is building up, to be quite frank. It's, I think the new car market started to soften. We're just starting to see auction prices get a little bit tougher. So I think it's really important that we keep used car stocks under control in this next 6 months.
When you're asking me the biggest opportunity for 2015, I don't think there's a big opportunity. I think there's lots of small ones. I think attention to detail is absolutely imperative in the current marketplace, particularly in retail. And I also believe that you have to, in fact, ensure that all your operatives handle every opportunity and take every opportunity to market the products you're selling, in addition to the actual vehicle. When you're asking about the largest opportunity we've got in 2015, I think it's not one large opportunity. I think it's small opportunities, and you have to be focused to ensure that you are taking advantage of all these opportunities. Without question, process is important to ensure that we're selling all the products that are available to us, not just the vehicle. Add-ons are very, very important in this marketplace as it stands. It's not just the process, it's also ensuring that the margins are there. We've got to look at margin. In order to get the bottom line, we've got to look at every aspect of taking margin.
The sector has enjoyed a fantastic period of growth. As we stand here today, 39 months unbroken growth. We all kind of know that doesn't go on forever, and that doesn't mean to say it's going to drop off a cliff. But what can the sector do to actually realise the sort of efficiencies to carry things forward? And I think we heard today at the People Conference that there's still a lot of potential in people. There are many, many great ideas that came out of the conference today around how you can leverage that biggest and most important asset. One of the things we do have to address though, and we need to do it, it's a bit like the government say about fixing the roof while the sun's shining. You know, we're in a strong position at the moment. If we aren't going to get back to continually coming into this cycle of shortage of people, paying over the odds, we have to do something collectively as a sector. And we at the IMI, as the industry's professional body, are working together with some key employers around the automotive retail sector to put a solution in place. And that's something that, you know, I kind of gave a bit of a teaser on that today, and I assure you that we'll be giving that news to AM first.
Here we are at an event that just revolves around the car, and I've come from Radio 2 where a lot of my listeners' lives revolve around the car as well, because they're in the cars listening. They're salesmen, they're people who travel for work, all kinds of different people. And what I detect more than anything else with what they tell us is a lag in terms of the story they're getting about economic recovery and what they're feeling. Now, obviously, Labour tried to use the line that there was a cost of living crisis in the election. That line didn't particularly take with everyone, but it was very powerful. And I think we're still waiting for the recovery to become properly embedded. That's the story on the ground. As a broadcaster, you're constantly looking for things that show you how the economy is doing. I remember as a reporter in the 90s being told by somebody that his job was swimming pool refurbishment. And I thought that is the most recession-sensitive job I can think of. Now, the car industry is a bit like that. I remember when the crash happened in 2008, the car industry, sorry to mix the vehicles here, but it really tanked. It was hit horribly badly because a lot of that is discretionary spending. But what's fascinating is that it's almost the first indicator of recovery. So you now see some astonishing figures in the car industry as it comes back. And I'd add one thing, this kind of event here is a very interesting economic indicator as well. When the crash happens, this may well be discretionary spending. Right now, people who are running dinners and conferences and get-togethers are ringing everybody and trying to book places and book people because they're going completely gangbusters. So there's another interesting one.